Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you. You're watching another episode of Encounter. But before we start, I would like to say thank you to my colleague Uttam, who replaced me when I was not here. And today, we have another guest in Encounter. We have Dhanu Rajwani, who is the director of Voice Out, Get Heard, and also she's an active member of the Toastmasters group in Mauritius. Dhanu Rajwani, a very warm welcome to you in the studio of the MBC, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Roshan, and a very warm thank you for having me here. I'm delighted to be here with you.
Toastmasters has existed in the world. It began in the United States in the 1920s.
Yes, in the 1920s.
And it has been present in Mauritius for over 15 years.
That's right. That's
yes.
right, Roshan.
So yes. you have joined Toastmasters around the year 2004?
4-5.
4-5. You have been involved in the Toastmasters of Mauritius since very long.
Since a long time.
So yes, tell us, how did you get involved in it?
When my nephew got married, my brother-in-law tells me, Dhanu, you're going to do the speech, you're going to raise the toast for my son. I said, great, I'll do it. Because I knew I was the best. Schooling, college days, I was always pushed ahead. You do the debates, you do the speech, you do the toast, you do everything. So I thought I was very good. I started and it was really good, because at that time we had the late Dr. Ganesi with us, and he was so impressed, he invited me to join Toastmasters.
Just a reminder that Dr. Ganesi was already involved in Toastmasters?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
He was one of the founder members of Toastmasters in Mauritius.
All right.
And he invited me to join because he thought I would be a good element for Toastmasters. But then in those days it was not possible. A few years later, it came to Catrabone, and it was easier for me to attend, and I joined Toastmasters. I used to go for every meeting. I was so taken up with Toastmasters. There was so much to do over there. When I joined Toastmasters, I thought I was the best. But then when I started getting evaluations, I started getting feedbacks on how I should do this and how I should do the other, I was a little taken aback.
So tell us a little bit more about your beginning. You have been doing debates, speeches, presentations, so you thought you were good.
I thought I was the best.
You thought you were the best?
Yes.
So what changes did you go through when you joined Toastmasters? Is it about how you present, the structure, the pace, the tone? I mean, there's a lot of technique. Even the breathing also is very important.
Oh, yes.
So please walk us through the procedures that you learned over the years.
You know, Toastmasters in itself was started by Dr. Ralph Smedley in the States. It's a non-profit organization that is for people to help them to be able to present their oral presentations, their talks, to be able to communicate effectively. And this had been growing over the years. In the beginning, it was only restricted to men. Women were not allowed over there. It was after about, I think, 50 years that 1 or 2 women entered those premises. So once the women started entering Toastmasters, it just kept increasing and increasing. The women in Toastmasters have increased like maybe 100-fold.
Wow.
And now there are so many women in Toastmasters the world over. In Mauritius itself, we started with just one club. That was the Portrait Toastmasters. Now in Mauritius, we have 8 Toastmasters clubs. I think out of which 2 are corporate, restricted membership, and 6 have public membership. Anyone who wants to can join it. If you're interested, you can join. Anyone who wants to grow in their life, wants to make an effect in other people's lives, can join Toastmasters.
Being able to present well and to communicate effectively, does that make you a good salesman?
It makes you not only a good salesman is just part of the story. Communicating effectively, connecting with people makes you the best human being you can ever be.
What I mean by a good salesman is the fact that you're able to communicate clearly.
Yes.
You're able to pass on your ideas very clearly and speak out how you feel in a very efficient manner.
That's right.
Those are the kind of people who are successful nowadays.
Yes, that's right. And this is where Toastmasters comes in. Toastmasters helps the individual to be able to connect with people, to be able to communicate with people, to listen to what they have to say, what the other person is saying. Sometimes they have to listen to the other person and realize that not only they are right, it could be the other person also being right.
Surely.
So this is where Toastmasters again comes in. Teaches you your listening skills. It helps you improve your listening skills, where you can hear. Now, hearing is a physical ability, Roshan. Listening is a skill. Listen to what the other person is saying. You take it, you don't take it. It doesn't matter. But at least listen. You can learn from whatever a person says. It can be a child. It can be an adult. It can be a person on the road. By just listening, you can learn.
By listening, you're also connecting.
Yes. So when you're connecting, you can communicate effectively. And effective communication is what impacts people. Effective communication is what leaders are made of.
So in a way, Toastmasters, the group of Toastmasters, you prepare the future leaders?
Yes. Future leaders, today's leaders, everyday leaders are being prepared at Toastmasters.
So it's very important to get the message that people need to be able to communicate clearly. I think
Yes.
that just the fact that people are able to communicate clearly would reduce considerably the amount of misunderstandings that there are in this world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Even amongst world leaders.
Yes. Why do misunderstandings come up? Because people don't listen. They just talk to reply without listening to what the other person has to say. If you're listening and you're understanding what that person has to say and giving that person some importance, then maybe divorces would be reduced. Maybe misunderstandings would be drastically reduced. Maybe there'd be more peace in the world. And by listening, you are not only helping yourself, you're helping the other person, you're helping the family, you're helping the world at large.
So good communication, the ability to listen.
Yes.
But there's one key part which is missing in all of it, which is missing also a lot in Mauritius. That's my personal opinion.
Yes.
Is the ability to think critically.
Absolutely.
I mean, especially
Yes.
some people develop it at a later stage, but when I look at the young generation, when I say young, it's very young, but children who are under 10, under 12 years old, critical thinking is a massive challenge.
Yes.
It's very hard for them.
Very hard. They're not being able to learn to think. They are just going by, okay, I'm telling you to do this, do it.
It's very robotic.
Yes.
And the fact that they are being told what to do all the time,
Yes.
it does not allow them to think
It doesn't.
and question.
Yes, they don't question. And questioning is so important, especially with the growing generation. The children need to question to know. Once they're questioning, they are using their thinking skills. They're wanting to know more and more. But mostly when a child approaches a parent to ask a question or a teacher to ask a question, the child is most likely going to be snubbed. Okay, I'll tell you later. Maybe they don't have answers. Mostly parents don't have answers for the children.
What have you learned since you have been attending Toastmasters group?
I've learned
Please
so
walk us through
much.
it. Please walk us
I've learned
through it.
so much with the Toastmasters. I never knew I had to learn all this. But it's been such a delightful journey, such a learning process. I'm still learning. And what I've learned in my Toastmasters journey, first of all, is to give and receive feedback for all your work, which is very, very important. When you're being evaluated for anything, the evaluations that you get from there, from the person who's evaluating you, are very, very solid. They're very good in terms of positive.
I will interrupt you. I
Yes.
just want to ask, so when they're evaluating you, do they give you a topic then you have to make a presentation of a few minutes on the topic chosen? How does it work?
It's not necessarily like that. We have in Toastmasters, we have our manuals.
Yes.
The first manual is of 10 speeches. You have to complete the 10 speeches, you get a certificate, competent communicator. The second manual is competent leadership, whereby over here you get roles to take on. And these are all leadership roles. They train you to be a leader.
And all these come with, I will call it topics? The 10 speeches that you have to complete initially?
They don't come with topics as such. The topic is yours, but they come with the project, like about your vocal variety.
Project.
About your listening skills, about your critical analytical thinking skills, about your motivational skills. Each project increases in challenge.
How long did it take you to complete the first?
Actually, I don't remember. Maybe it took me a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yes.
That sounds long.
It does.
In today's world, 1.5 years sounds long now.
Yes, it does. But then there's no pressure to finish anything.
Of course.
You take your own, and I was not under any pressure to do anything fast. I was taking my own sweet time and I was enjoying my journey. So I was just going along with the flow, doing my speeches as and when my turn came along, taking on leadership roles as and when requested, or even volunteering for it. It's best to volunteer.
That's when you learn the most, by observing
That's when you learn
others?
the most. You volunteer for any role means you're interested in it.
When you volunteer, does it involve you teaching others also?
Yes, you're teaching.
But that's proven science. If you're able to teach others, it means that
You're
you have
learning
mastered
yourself.
you have mastered a part of it,
Yes.
and you're learning yourself.
Yes, but then along the way, there's the first time when I was a grammarian, which is a part of Toastmasters. There was the first time when I was a table topics master.
Please tell us what's a grammarian, because I'm sure the viewers on it.
Now, the role of the grammarian is just to give a word of the day.
And you have to talk about it?
You have to explain what that word is about. And then, like suppose you take a word bright.
Okay.
Just a simple word, bright. You put the word over there, and then you give the different forms of bright, brightness, brighter. And then the audience will have to use that word in their talks. When they give their presentations, they have to use that word.
So in a way, are you also studying the English language?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
mastery of the English language.
That's very impressive.
It's like people learn
It's very holistic as an approach.
completely. I'm telling you, Toastmasters has a vast panoply of skills that come under its name, under the banner of Toastmasters. And then the grammarian has to count the number of times the word has been used. And then moreover, his other role is to keep a track of the English language, the good usage of the English language. If some people have used metaphors, similes, good English, and then again on the other side, to keep a track of the English language that is not well used, errors, grammatical errors, pronunciation errors, because a lot of pronunciation is wrong over here. Maybe because you're thinking French or speaking French. So that accent comes in. So that is why this is the role of the grammarian.
All of a sudden, you've made me become very conscious.
No, but your English is good, so don't worry about that.
And the more I'm hearing you speak, I realize that it's a skill that we should teach to our kids nowadays.
Yes.
Whether it's in English or French, but it is a skill to have.
It is a very important skill for everyone to have.
But I'm also thinking, if you are the head,
And the younger you start, the better it is.
yeah, because then it becomes like a sixth sense.
Yes.
Yes, but also I'm thinking it's very important for people who are at the head of enterprises,
Yes.
entrepreneurs, because
Yes.
they're always I wouldn't say giving out orders, but they're always communicating with their own group, but also with the outside world.
Yes.
And people who master good communication, again, I will say it, have more chances of being more successful.
I had one person in our Toastmasters group. He was heading a pharmaceutical company of 1,200 people. And he said, from the morning I got up, I would start barking orders. You do this, you do this, you do this. Because it was a big division that he was handling. You do this, you do this. The stress and the tensions of the day made him just order, 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 order all the time. Once he joined Toastmasters, his perception changed. And he started listening to people. And he started getting to know what is it all about, what their problems are, and how to handle those as well. So instead of being just a leader, he became an empathetic leader, where he understood the people, he took them all with himself. And they were all leaders in their own way. He tried to make each one in the group successful in their own way. So this is what Toastmasters is about.
So by practicing empathy, he was able to solve the problems more efficiently and make the group also listening.
Yes.
Listening.
It's only when you listen that you get empathetic.
Of course.
If you don't listen, you're just barking orders all the time.
That's like one of the core values we should all have.
Yes. It's so important to listen. And it's something that somebody just takes for granted. Of course I'm listening. But that, of course I'm listening. Are you actually there with the person? You're not.
Are you listening and thinking also?
Yeah, you could be thinking of what you have to do in the evening, what dress you're going to be wearing for your occasion tonight, what are you going to be cooking for tomorrow, or what presentation has to be done the next day, and you're not with the person that you are with.
Surely, surely.
Only in physical form you are there, otherwise you're not there. Mentally you're not with the person. And that will only happen when your computers are closed, when your telephones are off, then you're with the person. Then you connect.
I want to ask you, what is the thing that you like the most about your involvement with the whole group in Mauritius?
The Toastmasters group in Mauritius is one of the most amazing groups I've ever met. They really teach you the way to go, the way to impact people, the way to connect to people, the way to make people succeed in their respective fields. Because a leader has to take others with themselves, not be just in front.
The reason why I was asking you what is the thing you like the most is because as parents,
yes,
you always want your children to succeed.
Yes.
But you should also, it's not only about pushing your children through the different stages at school or college, but also you should equip them with the right tools.
Absolutely.
To be able to take it in.
Yes. Now, for that, the awareness of public speaking, effective communication is increasing in Mauritius, but very slowly. Very slowly. But it's increasing. And I'm very happy to tell you that I'm part of that increasing awareness in Mauritius for children.
The mini revolution.
Yes.
I have to ask you, that's the thing, working in the news also has, I've often heard the acting president of the Republic say that we in Mauritius, we don't speak enough English.
He was a Toastmaster, he was in my Toastmasters club.
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly, that has come. But he often says that people don't speak enough English and don't speak good English.
Right.
So I'm just seizing the opportunity now to ask you, what do you think of the level of English nowadays in Mauritius, especially for the younger generation?
As I tell you, they have the French accent.
Okay.
The French accent makes it a little difficult to have the right pronunciations in English.
How about the knowledge itself?
Knowledge is there. See, if they have to write, it's okay. But if they have to speak oral presentations, this is where they don't come up to the mark.
Is it a lack of practice?
Lack of practice, lack of confidence, maybe you could say. That they don't have that initiative to learn, to be able to. They don't think of its importance. And I think it's up to the parents to realize the importance of effective communication and get their children into it.
All right, it couldn't be clearer. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned that you're the director of the group called Voice Out, Get Heard.
Yes.
Which is it an affiliate of Toastmasters?
It's the Gavel Club.
A Gavel Club.
Voice Out Get Heard is a gavel club of Toastmasters International. It is an affiliate of Toastmasters International, which I have had the good fortune of being able to start thanks to my Toastmasters club.
So tell us a little bit more. Is it, we had a chat earlier. You said that you're focusing a little bit more on the younger generation.
Yes, because that's where the leaders start. Leadership starts at the lowest level. When I was in school, I knew that that was the leadership level over there. So I was into it.
So it's, what's the age?
Right now, the age for the gavel club is 10 to 16.
Okay.
That is by Toastmasters International.
Okay.
Now, I have another one that is from 6 to 9. That is Voice Out Little Speakers. Because these children just love coming there. But it's not an ongoing. Gavel club is ongoing. Finally, it merges into Toastmasters.
And you have little speakers also then?
Little speakers, that is just 8-week sessions, twice a year.
Oh, wow. Is it especially during holidays?
Mostly.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this initiative. So you want to start initiating the ability to listen, communicate, and to think critically at a very young age.
To give and receive feedback. It's very important, especially in children.
So,
you know, children are so sensitive. You just tell them one wrong thing, wrongly told.
Yeah.
And they get very sensitive. They don't want to come back again.
Surely.
They're so sensitive. So you have to be able to handle that well.
So you said that it started a very small group and now it's...
Yeah, we started with 18.
Yeah.
It started as a part of my Toastmasters, Distinguished Toastmaster criteria. That was a high-performance leadership program that I had to do to achieve the status of Distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest. And the president of my club came and told me, he says, Dhanu, you're just 2 steps away from DTM. Why don't you go for it? And I hadn't ever thought of it.
DTM is Distinguished Toastmaster.
Distinguished Toastmaster.
Okay, yeah.
I had never thought of it. But when my president came and told me that you're just 2 steps away, do you want to be a DTM? Then I sat up and my ears opened up and I said, yes, of course. Why not? So he came and he explained everything to me and all that. And as usual, I'm always ready for any challenge. I said, yes, of course, I'll do it. Without understanding what he was explaining to me. Without understanding, he spent 45 minutes, that guy spent 45 minutes explaining what I'm supposed to do. And I kept saying, yes, 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 yes. And then, after he left...
Then it hit you?
Then it hit home. What have I said yes for? Then with the support of my family, my grandson, we got together, Voice Out, Get Heard, and we started with a group of 18 children, which was very commendable. I was so happy to see those 18 children over there.
And you love children.
Oh, yes. So they came along and we had a chat, and I had first 2 demo sessions for the children to know what it's all about. And I still remember the first day the child came, she was bringing her son along for the session, but she brought her daughter along just to keep company. And the daughter was holding on to her mother's skirt. She didn't want to leave her. So I said, okay, go and sit over there. So she sat in the guest area, and the children were this side. And after they had all introduced themselves, I told her, don't you want to come up in front and say something? She said, yes. And she came, and she stayed on. She didn't go back. So, you know, the children, they just come, they're hesitant at first. Even in the gavel club, they're hesitant at first, but once they join in, they don't want to leave.
You have to boost their confidence.
Absolutely. Now, boosting confidence is giving the right kind of feedback.
Exactly, exactly.
Teaching them how to talk effectively. Now, in effective talking, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. How you say it is what makes all the difference. So this is what is important. This is what we teach at Voice Out Get Heard. And the Gavel Club was certified by Toastmasters International in May 2017. We started with just 18 members. Today we are about 70 to 75 members strong.
That's a beautiful story, and I wish you all the very best going forward.
Thank you so much, Roshan. It's been so nice talking to you, catching up with you after so long.
Definitely.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for being with us for this episode of Encounter. and keep up with the good work with Toastmasters. And I hope that through this program, you will be able to reach out to more people and encourage more people join in. I think it's a very commendable initiative.
I would love to have you also with us at Plateau Toastmasters.
Okay, I'll definitely think about it. Thank you very much for the invitation.
It'll be a real pleasure having you. Come as a guest. I'm sure you won't want to leave.
All right, I will definitely think about it.
Anyone
Thank you very
who comes
much.
as a guest stays on.
Okay.
So they like it so much. So just
definitely
come and stay on.
It's definitely a very good skill to be able to improve your presentation skills.
It's not a good skill.
Especially
it is an imperative skill in today's life.
Well, I'm thinking, especially for me, in terms of my line of work.
Yes, it's imperative in your line of work.
All right.
Absolutely.
Definitely, I will definitely consider that.
You'll learn a lot more.
Thank you very much, Dhanu Rajwani.
Thank you.
We have now come to the end of this episode of Encounter. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, stay tuned to the NBC channels. We'll catch you again next week. Goodbye.